like I say, I was doing numbering and number printing, and also, like I say, the tattoos. Those were me basically. I started the program of that because, like I say, we were finding dead bodies in the woods, and also dead bodies at schools. Like I say, they would go to a school and they would shoot them or something like that. Like we were losing whole towns of people, and so I didn't really, like I said, they're shooting children, they're shooting women, they're shooting people, and I was getting reports of this basically, and so I knew I was losing people. I just didn't know who and I didn't know where. Like I say, my companies were the best supported. Like I say, we had armed guards and we had tanks, and we switched over to military and war to just, like I said, my units didn't really move. I mean, we did move every now and then, to go help someone or do something, but basically we had a strategic war plan where we protected, and we mostly just stayed where we were. Around they protected the factories and they protected the towns, and basically they didn't attack anyone. They just basically stayed where they were and safeguarded their families pretty much. Like I say, we started moving people over to America, over to the United States of America, basically, at some point in time. Like I say, we didn't know where the aircrafts were coming from, and basically what it looked like, I think, if I remember right, it was basically what's it called? Africa was sending children to bomb the cities or something like that. I forget exactly what the details were, but we were trying to figure out what it was, and basically it looked like Africa or somebody in Africa had shot their tribal chief or whatever, or killed them. And he was basically changing things around and attacking and trying to do this whole secret thing. And basically, so Germany, I had the full support and love of Germany. Germany had been working with me for a very long time, and they knew me very well, and they loved me. Like I said, the feeling of love that I got from Germany was absolute. Also, Sweden, I think, also loved me quite a bit too. A lot of the countries in the world, they love me. It's kind of weird because it's almost like nothing ever happened and then all of a sudden it did, or something like that. And so, like I say, I'm Lucifer Star, and like I said, I had a lot of love from the Auschwitz concentration camp. I mean, those people love me a lot too. I mean, there's those dorms, and I wasn't sure exactly, but I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on, like for instance, how basically black parents would, or a black couple would adopt a white child pretty much, and they would basically check off that they wanted their boy child to be killed, and then they would keep the young girl child, and then they would rape her basically, or something like that. And that's the way it looked like it was happening, and we were hiding them and pulling them away. Like I said, the children would get a shot and they'd go limp because it was a vitamin plus a light sedative to basically make them go, like that. So they looked like they were dead. And so the black parents didn't really know, the parents didn't know that their child wasn't dead. A little sleight of the hand thing. And then the child would go to a room, and they would recover, and then they would be taken to an orphanage where they would be cared for and loved. Like I say. And that's what we were doing. And this goes on for 30 years or 25 years, and these parents think that they're whatever. Anyway, and then these people, they go back and they find out that, I guess, that their sister was raped for 30 years or 20 years, and maybe they seek their vengeance. I'm not exactly sure, but basically certain parents found out that their children weren't dead or something. I'm not exactly sure. There's a lot of stuff going on. I was protecting people, saving people. I did not have death camps. They may have been labeled as death camps on the what's called thing, but I don't. But I didn't have death camps. There weren't any. Like I said, I would rather die than have anyone killed. Although there was some black people going around and they were killing some white people. It became a race war, and like I say, basically the black population was killing off all the white people. And then they were sending bombers and attacking outright. And then there was also some Filipino stuff too. And then it became just this outright race war, basically, where pretty much Africa was coming up through Spain, and basically coming into Germany. And we lost one front, and then we lost another front. Like I say, sitting in aircraft, it was a full-on fight. Like the black people were just sitting there, and they were coming around too. They're coming around the two sides to try and get at Germany because they knew I was in Germany, or at least Germany was one of my places. It was also the most advanced. So basically, they're doing this pincer move on Germany, the black people, I think. I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I was defending, although, there were starving people at some point in time, there were starving people in Germany too, and there were death squads and stuff like that, and everything was just getting all chaotic at some point in time. And so I thought I had lost everyone. Like I say, I mean, I know I had my trains going around. I know my trains were carrying people to a lot of different places, Israel. And then, of course, there's the war in Israel where they go through and they practically kill the whole town. I mean, 3 times. Like I said, a lot of shit happened, and I was freaking out. Like, I didn't know how many people I still had. I didn't know which people got killed. Because I love those people. Like, I had been with them for a long, 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 long time. Like, we climbed to power, me in Germany, and also Russia. I love the people of Russia. I had a lot of groups that I really, 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 really cared about. So when the war happened, I didn't know who was alive, who was dead. I almost feel like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I fought it in time and space. I'm not exactly sure because there's what they say happened, and then there's what I used to remember happened, and then, it gets to be this big thing because, I was just trying to save and feed as many people as I could. And, like I say, it was a crazy thing. Because I was just a shipping company. I was just, we made cars. My people were like, we don't know anything about war. Or, we're farmers. We're toy makers. It's like, well, gotta go do something about this. It's gonna be a problem. So, like I said, I mean, there was a war, and they were attacking Paris, and Paris was going to hell, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, there was this, 25 different fights basically. And I was worried about my people because I knew my people were actually going to be going there, and then they just follow back, and then they just get the town. And at one point in time, I was like, you guys got to leave this town. Like, you can't be here. They're going to come back, and they're going to get us, or get you. So, a lot of stuff happened. There was a couple bad times when I was worried about my people a lot. And I didn't know if they would live or not. And then there was a time when they basically just pulled people out and threw them inside of cars and basically threw them inside the railroad cars and basically just shipped them off to what would be a death camp. Like I said, my Germans had actually known about what was going on and what would happen, so they tried to protect people as much as they could. It was actually the black people that were actually going and killing people, and mostly they were hitting the towns. They'd go to an orphanage and they'd basically shoot all the girls and boys. Or shoot all the boys and rape the girls, basically. It was pretty bad. It was bad. I mean, there's reports. I mean, if you look in Germany, you'd see information on the war and what was going on. Like, all the governments were my government. Like, I had all my different groups and all their different teams. So, but anyway, it's in the past now. But these companies were my companies, basically, and we did really well. We built a lot of steamships. We built a lot of engines. We had a big mine. We had lots of mines. It was all of us together. So, anyway, I mean, I had controlled the world. I owned the world. I wasn't going to let them mess around with the laws or mess around with the human rights. I wasn't going to let them hurt people or kill people. I did everything I could to stop them.